Priska, Guy, Trent, and Maddox are a family traveling to a beautiful island for a tropical vacation as the story opens. The island appears to be ideal. The resort manager greets the family and then provides them with free beverages. Trent also meets Idlib, a local lad who appears to know a secret about the island, at the welcome party for the visitors. We learn that the family's condition is not very good at night. Guy and Precise obtained a divorce, making this their last trip as a family with the kids. Priska, on the other hand, has an illness that has been present in her body for years. The resort manager approaches the family while they are eating breakfast and offers to take them to a remote beach on the island's nature preserve side for the day so they can avoid crowds. Mid-aged woman Patricia collapses and begins convulsing all of a sudden. His lover, Jaron, is a nurse, and Charles, a man who seems to be a doctor, arrives right away to offer assistance. The group finally arrives at the quiet beach's entrance after a short walk. The doctor and his family, which comprises of Crystal, Ains, and Kara, are also invited. The trio then encounters a mysterious traveler at the beach, Satan, who appears to be a famous rapper. While exploring, Maddox and Trent discover rusted knives and abandoned toys. The beach's major feature is protected by a tall stone wall, which is rather intimidating. Priska, though, instructs them to ignore them and leave. When a drowned body is found, the vacation of the group is tragically cut short. After going swimming, the body turns out to be Sedan's missing girlfriend. The tragedy has confused the group before they arrive, and Charles accuses Sedan of killing his own lover. He gets accused as a result of his constant bleeding from the nose. Jiren and Patricia show up at the beach a little while later, and the group informs them of the circumstances. The group is adamant that they are ready to return to the resort. Charles faints and falls unconscious while trying to explore the cave, showing that they can't return to the entrance they used earlier. Charles' mother then unexpectedly and suddenly stops breathing and passes away. As Priska visits Charles and complains that something is amiss with her children, things start to get weirder, beseeching him to look at them. Trenton, Maddox, and Kara appear to abruptly age substantially. In a few hours, roughly 5 years have jumped. Charles chases Sedan as she attempts to flee, but once they reach the cave, they stop. They fall over right away and are flung back to the beach. The party now realizes that there is no way to escape through the tunnel as a result. The doctor attacks Sedan with a knife at random, but magic occurs and the wound instantly heals. Jiren advises anyone in trouble to swim against the flow of the water till they come across another land. However, no one accepts the plans. Nobody wants to put their life at danger. Later, the group meets to discuss how to handle the circumstance. The reason the children are developing so quickly, in Patricia's opinion, is because they are responding to infections. Guy and Priska inform the group that Priska has a benign tumor in his stomach. She explains that while Jaron claims it is roughly the size of a softball, it is actually supposed to be about 3 millimeters. Priska abruptly passes out, and Jaron notices that the tumor is still expanding. We now know that going to the beach not only affects a person's age, but also their physical health, specifically the speed at which diseases spread. Charles will therefore do the necessary operation to preserve her life while the gang keeps in mind that a wound will heal quickly. After some time, they succeed in removing the tumor from her stomach, and Priska is able to regain consciousness. Then, when Sedan examines her girlfriend's corpse, she discovers that, contrary to how quickly it usually happens, her body has completely rotted away in just 3 hours. Jaron adds that the reason hair and nails aren't developing as quickly is because the beach has an impact on their cells, and dead cells make up hair and nails. Additionally, a research suggests that 60 minutes on the beach are equal to 2 years old. This causes everyone to age by almost 50 years in a single day. When Trent and Kara are having fun together at the tent, another tragedy happens. This causes Kara to give birth quickly. But sadly, due to the accelerated aging effect of the beaches, the infant must pass away. When Charles viciously kills Sedan because of his deteriorating schizophrenia, the situation becomes even more difficult. Running out of time, Jaron announces that he was a member of the swim team and volunteers frantically to swim across the ocean in search of assistance. The guy then understands that they were picked out on purpose to go to the beach because they have one thing in common. They all have medical records. Later on, while swimming, Maddox unintentionally discovers Jaren's dead body, who had most likely drowned. Kara climbs the enormous stone wall on the other side in vain, trying to discover answers on the other side, but she abruptly passes out and falls to her death. As the horrible scenario progresses, Patricia suddenly develops epilepsy and passes away instantaneously. Priska and Guy begin to feel the physical impacts of the beach as Guy begins to lose his vision and she struggles to hear sounds out of her left ear. Hypocalcemia also causes Crystal to pass away. Maddox and Trent stumble upon a traveler's notepad as the party tries to flee the beach. Additionally, Trent finds a camera at the mountain's summit, indicating that someone is constantly keeping an eye on them. Charles goes fully insane and stabs the gentleman and Priska before dying from tetanus. Priska gets to pick up the corroded knife from the previous incident. Priska, Guy, Trent, and Maddox are the only living survivors at this time. An elderly man and Priska make up as the evening comes to a close before they pass away. Trent and the now adult Maddox are all that remain. The following morning, Trent eventually recognizes that an Idlib mail has been received that he has not yet viewed. They believe that because the message mentions an undersea coral passage, they will be able to depart the beach without going crazy. Maddox's dress becomes caught on a coral as they begin to swim through it, and they battle to get out of the water. A resort staffer watching them says that all of them have perished after they failed to surface from the sea. It is found that a research team from Warren Pharmaceutical has been using the resort to carry out clinical studies of new medicines, using its patients with medical ailments as unwitting test subjects. The beach inherently speeds up visitors' aging. Thus, the researchers were able to finish medication lifetime studies in just one day. One of the scientists reveals that they just succeeded in preventing epilepsy by giving Patricia medicine as she arrived. At the beach, or the equivalent of nearly 16.5 years in the real world, Patricia, who had devastating seizures her entire life, was able to avoid having one. Following that occurrence, the manager begins to welcome the next batch of visitors, but is abruptly cut off by the arrival of Trent and Maddox, who eventually made it through their underwater swim using the notebook as proof that several visitors had vanished. The two are successful in getting the cops to the hotel. Trent and Maddox return home to live with their hands after the researchers are taken into custody. The resort is revealed to be a front for the Warren Pharmaceutical firm at the very end of the film, which introduces the twist. The hotel manager is the leader of a study group that has been serving experimental drug-laced beverages to visitors with physical medical diagnosis. Sedan and Priska, Charles, Patricia were chosen due to their ailments on the beach. The researchers could keep an eye on their well-being and track the progress of the medications. The experiments are rather new in and of themselves. Nonetheless, the movie sends a bunch of individuals to the beach. 73rd label trial according to the unique aging impact of the beach. This means that the tests have been performed 73 times, which is more than 2 months. The video ends here. To see more videos, subscribe.